Hello everyone, my name is Mike Moran and I'll be making a video for chapter 12 of the Believers superhero novel. I hope you all enjoyed and I'll share my screen so you can see what we're doing. Alright, here we go. Chapter 12, Jealousy and Truth. Blake drove Blake drove safely and quietly, but his mind was racing with thoughts, questions, and excitement. He could not believe all of this was real. He read comics and watched superhero cartoons and movies his whole life. It was always his dream to be a superhero, or at least meet one. And here was Jerry Miller, a real life superhero, sleeping in his car. Who or what is Jerry Miller? Why is he here now? There's got to be a greater purpose. Jesus, Moses, and other famed saviors didn't spawn on Earth to have fun and play games. They all served a purpose for humanity. What's Jerry's purpose? Blake thought of all this with the irony that the superhero himself probably did not know the answers. After an hour-long drive, they arrived at Vaughn's house. Vaughn came out to meet them, and Blake stepped out of the car. But Jerry was still half asleep. Vaughn carefully picked up Jerry in his arms and carried him to his brother's old bedroom. He closed the door and sat in the living room with Blake, who looked like a little kid hiding a big secret. Blake could not hold it in any longer and burst out. Dude, he was amazing. What are you talking about, Blake? Jerry, he turned into a machine. It was crazy, Blake exclaimed. Pics, or it didn't happen, Vaughn said quickly. I've got you, bro. Check it out. Blake pulled out his cell phone and showed him a picture of Jerry. He was decked out in full-clad cyborg armor from head to toe. Vaughn's jaw dropped, and he started firing a dozen questions. Where did he get that armor? He made it, Blake answered. What? How? I was driving us to Dynamite City, meditating in the back seat. He asked me not to look back, so I turned on the music loud and went with him. What did he do in Dynamite City? Did he kill anyone? Vaughn asked with both excitement and fear. Don't know, Blake replied. He fell asleep fast and hard as soon as he got back into my car. Wait, you let him go into Dynamite City alone? Are you crazy? He could have died. No way, Blake retorted. He's got superpowers. He's a superhero. He's not invincible, Blake. You're lucky he made it out alive. If you saw Jerry up close in that robot suit, you'd understand completely. He's on another level, Blake exclaimed. Alrighty, Vaughn announced with finality. Let's go outside for a bit and check out the shed and fence. I finished painting everything. It's all back to normal. Vaughn and Blake grabbed flashlights and walked out back. Vaughn did not tell Blake, but he needed a break from Jerry and the superhero stuff. Vaughn was old school. He was used to doing everything the hard way. He would certainly enjoy having powers, but since he did not have them, hearing about it 24/7 annoyed him. And Vaughn was still secretly bitter that he lost the fight with Jerry. Vaughn learned boxing, archery, and hunting at a young age, but none of that mattered against Jerry because he had powers. What made it worse was that Jerry did not even want to fight. He was holding back the whole time. Jerry woke up to his cell phone ringing. His mom was worried about him, asking questions and giving him an earful. He reassured her that he was fine and was going to sleep at Vaughn's house for the night. However, she insisted on talking with Vaughn to make sure it was okay. Jerry walked outside, found Vaughn, and handed him the phone. Hello, is this Vaughn? Yes. Hi, Vaughn. I'm Jerry's mother. How are you? Good, Mrs. Miller. I hope my son isn't a bother for you. I just want to thank you for helping him out. Of course not. No problem. Of course, no problem, Vaughn replied. I know he can be a handful, Mrs. Miller admitted. But Jerry's got a good heart. He told me all about you at dinner one night. He really appreciates you. He said you're a great friend who supported him since the night you both met at the football party. Yeah, well, it's no big deal. Of course it is, dear. Jerry also said you helped him with the college shooting. That was a horrible event, but you were there for him throughout the ordeal. I can never thank you enough for that. If you ever need anything, Jerry and our family will always be there to help. Vaughn paused for a moment, not knowing how to respond to such unexpected kindness. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Miller. I should probably go, since it's getting late. Okay, dear. Can you please put Jerry back in the phone? Mrs. Miller asked. Vaughn handed the phone back to Jerry, and he continued talking with his mom for a minute or two. Vaughn could not help staring at Jerry talking on the phone. Any bitterness he felt about their fight during training was gone, just like that. He wanted to stay angry with Jerry, but he felt guilty. His mother was so nice and genuine. It makes sense that Jerry would never hurt him. Thinking back to the fight, Vaughn wondered to himself, how come I didn't die in the explosion? The shed blew up in flames, but I only got launched backward. It doesn't make any sense. Jerry put away his cell phone, walked over to Vaughn, and said, thanks again for the training and letting me sleep over. No problem, but I gotta tell you something. Okay, what is it? Jerry asked. I should have been straight with you before. I didn't invite you over here to train. I wanted to fight you. What do you mean? I saw how easily you dealt with Kevin back at the football party. I also knew you had some kind of powers after the track team tryouts and college shooting, so I wanted to crack at you to see if I could beat you in a fight, Vaughn explained. It's okay, Vaughn. I kind of already knew that. What? How did you know? Remember what I told Blake? I can sense people's feelings and emotions. I knew you wanted something when you befriended me so quickly. I also knew something was wrong when you got so serious about the training. I was worried at first and felt bad that maybe I did something wrong or made you angry. I'm sorry if I did, Jerry said remorsefully. No, dude, don't apologize, Vaughn contested. It was totally my fault from the beginning. I was jealous that you blew away all the track team records and became popular so quickly. You also got to be a hero and saved everyone from the college shooting. Then you defeated me during training without even trying and became friends with Blake. I felt like I was being replaced. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, Vaughn. And then you've got all these cool powers, Vaughn continued. You can do anything as long as you believe in it? That's insane. Why do you have the powers? What did you do to deserve them? Why didn't I get any powers? I thought about all this, and it drove me nuts. It took me forever to repaint the shed and fence because I couldn't think straight. Jesus, I am just. Jerry hesitated, not knowing what to say or do. He felt lost. He never considered anyone else's point of view about his powers. Jerry always thought his powers were awesome, and he wanted to help others. But he now understood that Vaughn and others might be jealous or resentful that he has powers and they do not. Jerry wanted to apologize, but Vaughn interrupted Jerry's thoughts and kept talking. No, Jerry, let me finish. I thought about it all, and I was totally ready to sucker punch you. Anything to beat you at something. But when I saw you asleep in Blake's car, I felt bad. When Blake started bragging about you, I got angry all over again. Then you walked outside and handed me your phone. I wanted to break it and punch you in the mouth. But then your mom started talking. She reminded me of my mom before she. Vaughn, you don't have to do this, Jerry said worriedly. Your mom sounded perfect, like the mom I wish I had, Vaughn explained. She died when I was young, so my older brother moved out, and my dad became a workaholic. He took me to work all the time. That's where I learned boxing and how to shoot a gun. When I was home alone, I got bored and taught myself archery and other survival skills, which are all useless against your superpowers. Jerry looked down at the floor in silence. He felt terrible. Vaughn had mixed emotions of admiration and frustration, and Jerry could feel all of it. He wanted to say something to help, but he knew Vaughn had to work it out by getting everything off his chest. Jerry waited and listened patiently. But I get it now. I know why you have powers and I don't. If I had powers, I'd abuse them and do whatever I want. I'd probably get drunk and accidentally blow up a city. I would cause more harm than good without even trying. But you're different. You'd never do any of that. That's what makes you special. That's why you have powers and I don't. I'm not perfect, Cherry replied. I think you would have handled things better in Dynamite City than I did. Not true, because I would have never gone there in the first place. Maybe I would have gone for Blake, but not for a random girl at the hospital. That's what makes us different. You want to do the right thing, and you did. But I failed. I didn't find the three girls who hurt Blake's friend, Jerry admitted with a feeling of guilt. So what? At least you tried. Next time, I'll go with you for sure. Why? Jerry asked. Because I may not go for a random girl, but I will go for you. That's what friends are for, right? Jerry smiled and said, Thanks, Vaughn. That means a lot to me. But just to be sure, are we cool now? Yeah, Jerry, we're cool. For real this time, Vaughn said reassuringly. Vaughn and Jerry hugged it out like brothers, but Jerry soon wondered where Blake had gone. As if Vaughn could hear his thoughts, he replied, By the way, Blake went home while you were asleep. Speaking of which, you look tired. You can sleep in my brother's old bedroom, the same room you were in before. Thanks again, Vaughn. No problem, bro. Good night. Good night to you too, Jerry replied. Jerry walked to the bedroom and passed out almost immediately. Vaughn, on the other hand, turned on the TV and relaxed in his father's favorite reclining chair. Truthfully, Vaughn rarely slept at all since his mother died and since he met Jerry. Vaughn had trouble sleeping because he always had countless thoughts on his mind, and they were usually not his own. After meeting Jerry, however, stranger things began happening to Vaughn, but he needed time to piece it all together, so he kept them a secret. And that's it. We're done with chapter 13. I hope you all enjoyed it. We're done with chapter 12. I hope you all enjoyed it. That chapter had a personal feeling for me because it actually relates to a good friend I have in real life. And I really do miss that friend. He lives in another part of the United States. And if I'm lucky, I see him once every year or two, you know? So, anyway, thank you all so much. And the next video hopefully will be chapter 13. So, thank you and have a good one.